Did you know for The Shining, for the scene in which Jack breaks down the bathroom door, the props department built a door that could be easily broken. However, Jack Nicholson had worked as a volunteer fire marshal and tore it apart far too easily. The props department was then forced to build a stronger door. 2. Due to the film's cult following, it has been the subject of many outlandish myths. One of the most famous myths is that to get Jack Nicholson in the right agitated mood, he was fed only cheese sandwiches for 2 weeks, which he hates. 3. Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall have expressed open resentment against the reception of this film, feeling that critics and audiences credited Stanley Kubrick solely for the film's success, without considering the efforts of the actors, crew, or the strength of Stephen King's underlying material. 4. Stanley Kubrick, known for his compulsiveness and numerous retakes, got the difficult shot of blood pouring from the elevators in only 3 takes. This would be unremarkable if it weren't for the fact that the shot took 9 days to set up. Every time the doors opened and the blood poured out, Kubrick would say, "It doesn't look like blood." In the end, the shot took approximately a year to get right. Did you know that for The Sixth Sense, Haley Joel Osment got the role of Cole Sear for one of 3 reasons? First, he was best for it. Second, he was the only boy at auditions who wore a tie. Third, director M. Night Shyamalan was surprised when he asked Osment if he read his part. Osment replied, "I read it 3 times last night." Shyamalan was impressed, saying, "Wow, you read your part 3 times?" To which Osment replied, "No, I read the script 3 times. 2. Toni Collette has said that she was so moved by the emotional resonance of the story while filming, she did not even realize it was a horror film until after its release. 3. According to director M. Night Shyamalan, Donnie Wahlberg lost 43 pounds for the role of Vincent Gray. 4. M. Night Shyamalan wrote the role of Malcolm Crowe with Bruce Willis in mind. 5. David Vogel, then president of production of Walt Disney Studios, read M. Night Shyamalan's spec script and instantly loved it. Without obtaining corporate approval, Vogel bought the rights to the script, despite the high price of $3 million and the stipulation that Shyamalan could direct the film. 6. The film was a sleeper hit. Positive word of mouth contributed to the financial success, with reports of people watching it twice due to the surprising ending. Did you know that for The Terminator, one afternoon during a break in filming, Arnold Schwarzenegger went into a restaurant in downtown LA to get some lunch and realized all too late that he was still in Terminator makeup, with a missing eye, exposed jawbone, and burned flesh. 2. The beginning of production was postponed for 9 months due to Arnold Schwarzenegger's commitment to Conan the Destroyer. During this time, James Cameron wanted to be working but didn't have the time to do a whole other film. He had a talk with some producers at 20th Century Fox who liked his screenplay for Terminator and gave him a writing assignment. This turned out to be Aliens. 3. The crew made t-shirts saying, "You can't scare me. I work for James Cameron." 4. Arnold Schwarzenegger had his eyebrows insured at Lloyd's of London, as he feared that they might not grow back properly after he shaved them for the scene where he runs over a car on fire in the alley after the tech noir shootout. 5. James Cameron had no agent and was either living in his car or sleeping on the couch of a friend when he wrote the script for the film. Cameron had actually fired his agent because he didn't like the story idea Cameron had conceived for this film. Did you know for Braveheart, Mel Gibson initially turned down the role of William Wallace, feeling that he was too old for the part, but Paramount Pictures would finance the film only if Gibson starred in it, so he agreed. 2. One of the film's weary extras reportedly mistook one of Mel Gibson's children on the set for an errand boy and asked him to bring a cup of tea. Gibson was within earshot and nodded and whispered to his son, "Go get it." 3. Up to 1,600 extras were used for the battle scenes. Most were members of the Reserve Irish Army. Different companies usually come from the same area, and rivalries are common. Apparently, some of the battle scenes are far more realistic than intended, with rival companies trying to beat the crap out of each other for real. 4. Several major battle scenes had to be reshot because extras were wearing sunglasses and wristwatches. 5. Mel Gibson was investigated by an animal welfare organization, which was convinced that the fake horses used were real. Only when one of Gibson's assistants provided some videotaped footage of the location shooting were they convinced otherwise. 6. The mechanical horses designed for the battle sequences weighed 200 pounds and were fueled by nitrogen cylinders propelling them at 30 miles per hour on 20-foot tracks. Did you know that for Barbie, for the role of Ken, Ryan Gosling drew influence from his time on the all-new Mickey Mouse Club back in 1989? At a certain point, I thought I had left that kid behind. I realized that I needed his help to make this movie, so I had to go back and make peace with him and ask for his help. It was good for me. 2. Margot Robbie helped Ryan Gosling figure out his character of Ken by daily giving him pink presents of beach-related items, as a nod to Gosling's Ken's job essentially just being beach. 3. Just 2 weeks after arriving in theaters, Barbie earned the distinction of becoming the first ever billion-dollar film solely directed by a female director. 4. Ryan Gosling sent Greta Gerwig a surprise line of dancers to perform I'm Just Ken at her morning Pilates class and wish her a happy 40th birthday in 2023. 5. Margot Robbie claimed that although she was producer of the film and had the power to insist on starring as Barbie, she told Greta Gerwig that having chosen her as director, she would respect any casting decisions Gerwig made, including the lead. 6. It was Ryan Gosling's idea that Ken wear Ken-branded underwear. Did you know that for SpiderMan, Willem Dafoe performed 90% of his own stunts? 2. One of the chief difficulties that Tobey Maguire experienced in the now famous upside-down kissing scene was that his sinuses kept filling up with water as it was performed in driving rain. 3. In the wake of the terror attacks on 11 September 2001, Sony recalled teaser posters which showed a close-up of Spider-Man's face with the New York skyline, including, prominently, the World Trade Center towers, reflected in his eyes. Not all the posters were recovered, however, and the ones still at large are now highly prized collector's items. 4. The Green Goblin's costume was originally designed to be more bulky and armored, but Willem Dafoe, having decided to film his own stunts, rejected it in favor of a more streamlined and athletic costume. The final outfit was composed of 580 pieces and took Dafoe half an hour to put on. 5. One of the reasons why Sam Raimi was a popular choice with Sony for the director's gig was because he is an avid comic book collector in his private life, with a collection of over 25,000. 6. By signing on for 2 sequels, Tobey Maguire secured himself a paycheck of $26 million. Did you know for Little Miss Sunshine? Steve Carell, at the time he was casted, was a relative unknown in Hollywood. The producers of the film worried that he wasn't a big enough star and didn't have much acting experience. However, between the time the film was shot in the summer of 2005 and its release in the summer of 2006, Carell became a huge success as the star of the high-grossing film The 40-Year-Old Virgin in August 2005 and the leading character of the popular television series The Office, which premiered in March 2005, and for which Carell won a Golden Globe in 2006 for Best Lead Actor in a Comedy Television Series. In the span of just 1 year, Carell had become such a star that the producers had gone from protesting his casting to tapping him to do prominent promotion for the film. 2. The production crew made sure Abigail Breslin really was listening to music in her headphones to keep her from hearing Alan Arkin's profanity-laced scenes. 3. Bill Murray was the original choice to play Frank. The second choice was Robin Williams. 4. Michael Arndt had to quit his job as Matthew Broderick's assistant to write this film. Did you know that for Gone Girl, originally, Nick was supposed to wear a Yankees cap in one scene, but Ben Affleck, a die-hard Red Sox fan, refused to wear it. Ultimately, he and David Fincher compromised, and he wears a Mets cap. 2. This was the first time Ben Affleck had done full frontal nudity on screen. Affleck said he agreed to do it because David Fincher told him that he wanted it to be like a European movie, warts and all, that there could be no vanity from the cast members, as he wanted to portray the characters just as in real life. 3. Ben Affleck was concerned about the 9-year age difference between him and Carrie Coon, considering that their characters are supposed to be twins, and opted that he should play Nick as being 30 years old. 4. Rosamund Pike told film critic Peter Travers that whenever David Fincher would catch her on set about to use her cell phone, he'd take a stern-faced selfie and send it to her, causing her to instantly pocket her phone. 5. David Fincher shot an incredible 500 hours of material over the 100-day shoot, an average of 5 hours per day. 6. The character of Tanner Bolt was initially written as an Alec Baldwin type.